Standing on the platform, watching you go. It's like no other pain I've ever known. To love someone so much, to have no control. You said I wanna see the world, and I said go. Think I'm lost without you. I just feel crushed without you. 'Cause I've been strong for so long, I never thought how much I needed you. I think I'm lost without you. Strangers rushing past, just trying to get home. You were the only safe haven that I've known. It's me at full speed, feel like I can't breathe, and nobody knows. It's pain inside me, my world is crumbling. I should never let you go. I think I'm lost without you. I think I'm lost, lost, lost Standing on the platform, watching you go. You said I wanna see the world, and I said
Before we begin in earnest, let me say thank you to everyone for arriving safely. I know it's important that we have destinations to be at, and when you arrive at them safely, everyone is happy, and I care not whether you are early or whether you are late, as long as you're safe. So on behalf of Bill's family, thank you so much for being here. You've come from far, you've come from wide, you've come from close, and you've come from narrow. So too, we've got people that are joining us through extension by technology. Thank you to those people as well. I'm carrying a little bit of a cold this morning, but that's not going to stop what we're here for. What we're here for is to celebrate Bill Major's life. Carmen spoke to me not so long ago, and on all our official documentation, I referred to Bill by his given name. And I know his mum's here, but I won't say his given name because I was told I'm not supposed to do that. Bill's his name. So from here on in, although I never knew Bill, I will refer to him as Bill. And I will refer to Bill in present tense as well. So if you hear me saying things that are in present tense, I'm doing it on purpose, simply because whether you know it, whether you believe it, whether you understand it or not, you all hope for the best. And your best, as you're hoping, is that you'll see those that have passed away in another place when it's your turn, whether it be heaven, whether it be Valhalla, whether it be somewhere else. You hope that you'll see them. Why? Because they're still here. They're waiting. So I'm not entirely sure why we as a society must attend to the past. Bill's still Bill's name. He's still a dad, your dad. Where's Stacey? Stacey's dad as well, though. And all of these things happen by no sheer consequence. They happen on purpose. So when you think about all of the influences that, I nearly stepped away then because that's what I'm used to, but all these influences that you have, that you've been given, that you've been taught, that you've been shown, that you've been touched with, they remain. The smells in your kitchen remain. So don't go away from here thinking that you're empty-handed, because you're not. Each of you takes away your relationship with Bill as you formed it over time. That is the positive thing that I am sure of. I know today that as we start to tell stories, it'll be a little more formal in here, in this venue. But I'd like to believe that as we go further afield later on today, the informality comes off and the hair comes down, and we start to share all the stories and the memories, because later on in our service here, you may see photographs that take you back to a place, and you'll tell stories about that. So prepare yourselves to spend at least the day sharing and listening. There might be some bullshit, we don't know. If he's a bloke like me, I reckon there'll be some bullshit. And I say that simply because he puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like we all do. There's no airs nor graces with Bill. He's a bloke just like you and I. He loves, he lives, he gives, he takes. All of these things are him. And today we have people that are going to share. John Dawson, he's going to give us a bit of a lead-in, I guess, and some historical notes about who Bill is for everyone. Ricky will follow soon after that, and then I'm going to hand the floor over to Sean. I'm going to say it now, there is an opportunity, should any of us in this room like to formally say something here, when Sean has closed, that opportunity will begin. But for now, John, please can I ask you forward?
Thanks. Welcome, everybody. Okay. It is with honour and a great privilege that I give this eulogy on behalf of William Thomas Major, but he'd hate me saying that. So let's just call him Bill, as we all know him by his friends and family. Bill was born to Reginald Arthur Major and Ellen Margaret Edwards on the 24th of March 1967 at the Geraldton Regional Hospital. He was blessed with two sisters, Pat, the oldest, born in 1966, and Janice, the youngest, born in 1969. Bill's mother worked at Shepherd's Hotel, and while his father, Reggie, was a backhoe driver on the main roads and worked for Les Matthews. Bill's early education took place at Geraldton Primary, followed by Waggrocon Primary School, and then secondary high school in town, which he attended sporadically. When Bill was 6 years old, he met Neville Criddle, who would become a father figure to him. The period also marked the birth of the youngest of his brothers, Todd. During his school years, Bill had an after-school job at a furniture store where he would stack chairs out on the front of Marine Terrace in the afternoon and would light the bath heater for Beryl Jordan. Bill's teenage years were filled with mischief and adventure. He often rode his horse Nicopopolis and his other horse Princess into town, or drove various vehicles that had no business being on the road. One of these was his favourite story was about his Vauxhall Victor, which he loved. Bill's family moved from Waggrocon to Munyunuka. During this time, he took a break from school, and to help him move, he had friends, me, and we would drive around in a yellow station wagon and rolling our own cigarettes. One of the memorable occasions was we could smell fuel, and Bill said, "I'd like a cigarette." And I thought we were all going to go up in a big whoosh. The household was not just a home, but it was a meeting place that soon became part of the family. Lifelong friends like myself, Colin Mazza, Chester Roden, Kim Simons, Tadpole, and Kim Stevens. Frequent visitors, one at a time, Kim Stevens, were frequent visitors. One time at high school, we were playing soccer and we didn't have a soccer ball. And we had an aluminium cray float. And Mr. Mazza launched this cray float and it flew through the air and hit Bill fair in the scone, to the words of Colin Mazza saying, "I've killed him, I fucking killed him." But he recovered. But he had a passion for Holden engines and would often be swapping out motors and changing them over for a drag race or something like that on a weekend. We spent our time. Most people know the place as Rum Jungle, where Bill frequented it in Neville's green HZ Ute. Quite often they had to replace the tyres on the next day from the nightly activities. Bill had a HT Holden, which he painted with a spray can, Roper River Blue, and the roof was painted with a roller, so it looked like it was vinyl. And he drove it around for about 5 years before selling it, and then 3 days later he saw it on the road with a yellow sticker. Bill met Donna when they were 17 and introduced by Kim and Penny. Bill and Penny and Kim Stevens and Pat and Janice, myself and Simo, Chester and Colin would often go to the drive-in, sneaking in the boot to avoid paying. One of the more memorable occasions was the time that we went to Footloose, which we were all caught dancing on the back of the green HZU. Bill and Donna lived together at a caravan park in Hall Road before moving into a caravan back into Neville's and Alan's place in Beachlands. During this time, Bill worked on the main roads. They got married a year later on the 7th of September 1985 at Cheryl and Merv's, Donna's parents' house in Felicia Street, and the van followed. Then they got a house in Scott Road where they were blessed with their children, Sean Thomas, born on the 4th of January 1987, and Stacey Joanne, born on the 6th of November 1989. After Stacey was born, Bill started working on the mines, and he and Donna built a house in Tullarook Way in Forester Park, and Bill's career in Forester Park. Bill's mining career spanned 35 years, during which he worked at many mining companies, and Donna and Bill parted ways in 1998. In 2004, Bill found a person that he loved, that was the love of his life, with Carmen. Carmen and his family grew by gaining another daughter, Ricky, to the family. They lived in Abraham Street until Bill and Carmen bought their first house in Ithaca, where they spent 20 beautiful years. The home in Ithaca was the haven of love and joy, filled with laughter and cherished memories. I myself spent a week or two there myself. Ricky and her mischievous spirit used to pinch magnets from Bill's FMH magazines and try and sell them at school. This led to a memorable occasion of a please explain from the school, and a story that Bill and Carmen would often recount with amusement. Carmen affectionately called Bill Bilbo Baggins because of his hobbit feet. The playful nickname was a testament to the loving and humorous bond they had together. Bill and Carmen enjoyed many trips riding together and accompanying their close friends on the basket case crew. Their adventures took them to Meekatharra and beyond, and countless many more open road memories. It was initially hard to convince Bill to go overseas, but Carmen persisted, and it paid off. Their first trip was a 4-week-long adventure that included Bali, Malaysia, Thailand, and Bill ended up loving every minute of it and marked the beginning of many, many more travels together. Carmen and Bill's life was filled with joy, love, and they lived to the fullest. The bond was evident in every moment that they shared, from everyday joys to the grand adventures. The last few weeks of Bill's life in Lombok with Carmen was the time of his life. He'd made many friends there during his time period. They affectionately referred to him as Big Boss or Mr. Bintang. The friendships were the testament of Bill's warm and welcoming nature. Bill had 3 grandchildren who he adored: Bo, Lily and Jay. These little ones brought an endless amount of joy into his life and was such a proud grandfather. From the moment each one of them was born, Bill's heart swelled with love and pride. He cherished them in every moment he spent with them. Bill's pride in his grandchildren was evident to everyone who knew him. He would often share stories about their accomplishments, milestones, and his eyes lighted up with the joy. Bill was the kind of person who would give you the shirt off his back without a second thought. He was generous, his generosity knew no bounds, and he was always ready to lend a helping hand to anyone who needed it, whether it was a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. Bill's heart was open to it all. Bill had many friends throughout his life, and he will be ever remembered in all the stories that we tell every day. His legacy lives on in the hearts of those who knew him, and his spirit continues to smile on our faces. Thank you.
Before Ricky comes up, I do have a smile on my face for a reason. John, you spoke towards the end about remembering all those things that you have, the memories that you have. And in the short while that you spoke, I got to know a little bit about Bill. And the thing that I remember gives me my smile. I wonder how many of you remember that he had a horse called Nicopopolis. Go figure. Ricky, please.
You guys are going to have to bear with me because I'm a bit nervous. Right. I do want to thank you all for being here today, though, to celebrate the life of Bill. Bill was a loving partner to Carmen, a father to Sean and Stacey, a stepfather to myself, and a proud poppy to his 3 beautiful grandchildren, Lily, Bo and Jay. He will be dearly missed by everyone who had the privilege of knowing and loving him. I know many of you here today will remember times spent out at the farm or at the property on Abraham Street during holidays and Christmases, taking turns riding on the tractor, motorbikes, or one of Bill's latest contraptions. One of these contraptions, which I can only describe as a paddock flattener, was a broken car bonnet with an old seat bolted onto it. This was attached to the back of the car by a rope, and all the kids would take turns flying around the paddock with Bill at the wheel. Bill was just a big kid at heart, and that's one of the things I'll miss the most about him. Bill was also, without a doubt, the biggest hoarder I or anyone have ever met. If Bill thought that a bread clip from 1978 might come in handy one day, he kept it. Mum once threw out a plain old plank of wood, and the next day it was mysteriously back in the shed. That was Bill, nothing wasted, everything had potential. So it was probably a dream come true for him when he got the job at the Geraldton Tip, free to rifle through other people's junk all day uninterrupted. Much to Mum's horror, he brought home some truly questionable items, trailer loads actually. The saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure, couldn't have been more accurate. Bill was a man of few words, but you always knew when he was going to say something important, because he'd start the sentence off with, "And the biggest thing is," and finish it with, "I know that much." I remember the time I wedged the old 80s series between two fence posts while learning how to drive. He didn't even get mad at me, he just said, "All good, shorty, we'll sort it." That was Bill, cool, calm and collected. Nothing ever seemed to faze him, unless it involved beans or Parmesan cheese. I can still hear the gagging. He was also always easily pleased, a beer in one hand, a fishing rod in the other, a ciggy in his mouth, unlit of course, and a bit of Bellamy Brothers playing in the background. That was Bill's perfect day. I remember going out to Grandpop's and bringing home a new animal each time, even after he'd say, "Don't get too attached, shorty, this one's going on the spit." 2 goats, 3 sheep, and 1 pig later. I guess you can see how that turned out. Anything he didn't like was, "Nah, fucking shoot him." Bill was the kind of bloke who was good at anything he touched. There wasn't a piece of machinery that he couldn't drive, and he didn't need instructions. He could build a chook pen out of things he found at the tip, no YouTube required. He was also a bush mechanic. He tried to teach me about outlet manifolds, carburetors, and spark plugs. After all that time in the shed, I can confidently say I know where the fuel cap is. Bill will miss your easygoing presence, the funny way you twist words and make them your own, your kindness and generosity, and just having you around. Rest easy now, we love you.
First off, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming today. He really would have been amazed at the turnout. He was a well-loved man, well-respected, so I just want to thank everyone for being here today. So growing up with Dad, there was always plenty of cars to mess around with. Plenty of wild rides in my later teenage years, most of them which we shouldn't probably been doing. But Dad would pull us up, give us a serve, and then only like Dad could, he'd make sure we knew how to do the dodgy shit the right way. That was Dad. He never preached, he always taught. He made sure we understood right from wrong, but let the lessons come the hard way if they had to. He'd let us fall, knowing full well he'd be there to pick us up again. He was a man of few words, with about 2 cents in his emotional bank account, but somehow he always had the right currency when it mattered. Whether it was a quiet, "You did good," a nod that said more than any sentence ever could, or just showing up when you needed him. He had his own way of saying, "I'm proud, I love you," or "I've got you." Dad was a legend in the mining game, a dozer operator with some unmatched skill and a name that carried weight. Hammersley Iron, Leighton's, Roach Brothers, Mount Gibson, Macca up in Mount Magnet, and finally RDH. Wherever he went, the stories followed. When I became his superintendent at Macca, he was the only bloke that I couldn't get to tuck his shirt in. He'd always tell me, "Just write me up, I'm not tucking my bloody shirt in." But that was Dad, unmistakably himself, no apologies, no bending, just Bill. I had the rare privilege of working alongside my father for nearly 16 years. Not many get that. And every moment, the good, the tough, the unforgettable, helped shape the man I am become. I still remember my first day on the mines. I blew numbers at the PSI and got sent back to camp. I had a chair jammed up against my donga door to keep him from coming through it because he was still on shift. And we all knew what was coming when he found out. Luckily, Mark Walker didn't let him anywhere near camp that day. Training in the excavator with him was its own kind of education. He had one rule: don't wake me up and don't spill me coffee. Most of what he taught me, you'd get sacked for today, but it wasn't wrong. It was experience, it was instinct, and it was sheer mastery passed down from someone who lived it every day. That's what made him special. I became his boss eventually, but the truth is I owe most of his success to him. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know. I'll miss him every day in big ways, big and small, but I carry his lessons, his spirit, and his pride with me. Love you, Dad.
Are there others, perhaps, who might like to share today, ever so briefly, if at all? There's no pressure to do so. We'll continue on. I keep reflecting on those things that are memories because we think that that's all we have, and the reality is we create memories every day. Since we've been here today, I've listened to 3 people talk, but they have given me memories that I can't count. Your arrival here has given me memories that I can't count, the number of them. So we create memories every moment that we breathe, and oftentimes we find it difficult to reflect on them. But let me give you this, if I may. When you look at photographs, when you turn the pages of an album, those pages, the pictures there, take you to a place that you've been before. They are your time machine to turn back for you what it was to feel the emotion when that particular picture was taken, whether the emotion was good or bad or indifferent. They give you the opportunity to reflect yourselves on what it is that you know, what it is that you share, and what it is that you feel. I am sure, looking around our room today, there are people in the same sort of ilk as I am, and they will have in their wardrobe somewhere an old Adidas or Nike shoebox full of black and white and blurred photographs out of a Kodak Instamatic 22 film camera that they've waited at the chemist for 3 weeks to get developed and then never looked at them again. Those in the day had a purpose, but today our memories are created in phones, our memories are created in our minds, and we use our devices as they are. I hate the word, but we use them to create further enhancement in our life because we share them with people. We don't put them in an Adidas shoebox somewhere. We show them to people. So today, what's happening is Carmen is going to show you Bill's history. You're going to take a stroll down his memory lane and you're going to enjoy, perhaps. You might even cry, I don't know. Depends upon what picture pops up. But the reality is, let's just enjoy a few brief moments of memory.
I'm like a bridge that was washed away. My foundations were made of clay. As my soul slides down to die, how could I lose him? What did I try? Bit by bit, I realized that he was here with me. I looked into my Father's eyes, my Father's eyes. I looked into my Father's eyes, my Father's eyes, my Father's eyes, my Father's eyes. I looked into my Father's eyes, my Father's eyes.
He was a giant when I was just a kid. I was always trying to do everything he did. I can still remember every lesson he taught me. Growing up, learning how to be like my old man. He was a lion. We were when he made me walk the line. He knew how to lift me up and when to let me fall. Looking back, he always had a plan. My old man, my old man. Feel the callus on his hands and dusty overalls. My old man. Now I finally understand. I have a lot to learn from my old man. Now I'm a giant, got a son of my own. He's always trying to go everywhere I go. Do the best I can to raise him up the right way, hoping that he someday wants to be like his old man.
I'm going to play with your emotion a little bit now, insofar as the things that I'm thinking of are what we might like to refer to as our happy thoughts. Because saying goodbye, finally, it marks a spot in our heart that we fear. But what I'm going to ask you to do is I have a little basket here of happy thoughts. Carmen has arranged that the girls out at, is it Chelly Park, I think it is? Chelly Ridge, they put together some Geraldton wax. That's what it looks like. But I can already see here that there's a strawberry ice cream on a double cone. Serious. I can already see here that there's some cheese on toast. Some circles they call it mousetraps. But I can see them in there, all these things that make us happy. And if we think about what our happy things are, we know that they're in this basket somewhere. And if we want to be happy, and by giving those things to Bill, then come to the basket, fossick through, find the thing that's for you that makes you happy. Find the kiss on your cheek. Find the joy that you get when you watch your first grandson tie his own shoelace. Those are the happy things. So I'm going to ask certainly Carmen and all of Bill's family to lead us off in this little procession.
Pine trees grow so tall in the bright sunshine. The young boy steals his daddy's fishing line. The alligator lays on the banks of the riverbed. And if you didn't know any better, you'd swear he's dead. These are a few things I'm in love with. A small part of the reason I go back to Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, gorgeous Georgia. Now if you think I'm happy down there, you're on the right track. You ain't just a whistling Dixie. You ain't just lapping your knee. I'm a grandson of the Southland and heir to the Confederacy. You ain't just a whistling Dixie, 'cause the cattle call's calling me home. So put me down there where I wanna be, but land my feet Robert E. Lee. Bury my bones under a cypress tree and never let me go. The cotton balls gleam and the cows give cream for the baby's sake. Pa comes in full of gin and he's mean as a rattlesnake. And then the well runs dry and we cry and cuss the garden hose. And Mama draws a bucket full of creek water just to wash our clothes. Now these are a few things I'm in love with. Small part of the reason I go back to Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, gorgeous Georgia. Now if you think I'm happy down there, 'cause the cattle call's calling me home. So put me down there where I wanna be. Plant my feet where the Robert E. Lee. Bury my bones under a cypress tree. And never let me roam. He was a giant, and I was just a kid. I was always trying to do everything he did. I can still remember every lesson he taught me. Growing up, learning how to be like my old man. He was a lion, we were a father's pride, but I was defiant when he made me walk the line. He knew how to lift me up and when to let me fall. Looking back, he always had a plan. My old man. My old man, feel the callus on his hands and dusty overalls. My old man, now I finally understand. I have a lot to learn from my old man. Now I'm a giant, got a son of my own. He's always trying to go everywhere I go. Do the best I can, raise him up the right way, hoping that he someday wants to be like his old man. Pine trees grow so tall in the bright sunshine. The young boy steals his daddy's fishing line. The alligator lays on the banks of the river bed. If you didn't know any better, you'd swear he's dead. Now these are a few things I'm in love with. A small part of the reason I go back to Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, gorgeous Georgia. Now if you think I'm happy down there, you're on the right track. And you ain't just a whistling Dixie, you ain't just slapping your knee. I'm a grandson of the Southland and heir to the Confederacy. You ain't just a whistling Dixie, 'cause the cattle call's calling me home. So put me down there where I wanna be, land my feet on Robert E. Lee.
Kind folks, the book of Ecclesiastes tells us there's a time and a purpose to everything. And our time here draws almost to its natural close. But there are some things that we need to attend to because we are human. We have a society and we understand what it is to do that is right. Before we do that, there's a warm, generous, and welcome invitation for each of you to attend the Batavia Brewery at number 60, I think it is, Fitzgerald Street, as we close our service here. It's a little boutique, but it allows us to go with our shirts untucked. It allows us to choose what it is that we want to choose, but it also allows us to join together and talk freely about this bloke that we've been celebrating all day. And freely is what we should do. We should give ourselves freely, not just to each other, but to the people that we love, to the people that we care about, and we should be doing it all the time. I say that simply because Carmen only too well knows time in the book of Ecclesiastes will have its purpose for all of us. Let's make our time valuable while we're here. Can I make the invitation for those of us that are able to please stand, if you will? As a society, I kind of wonder why it is that we stand up to do what it is that's right, why we stand with dignity, why we stand with respect, or at least that's what people show us by standing. And the reality is, it's because we have the courage to stand and show people our biggest self. The animal kingdom does it every day. But we don't do it for fear or to fight. What we do is we stand up with courage and a willingness to say to everyone that's here, I'm ready. And today we need to be ready to say farewell to William Thomas Major. There, I said it. I said it. But in saying farewell, it's just until we meet again. And I understand that as earth is to earth, so too ashes are to ashes, and dust is to dust. We are all born of dust, and eventually we will return there. There is no denial. But today we stand with our dignity intact. We stand with the courage that we get from each other as we're holding their hands and standing next to them. And we stand with the willingness to understand that what we do is right. So let us say farewell as we offer Bill's body for cremation. Carmen, can I say thank you so much for allowing me and my family to join with you today in celebrating your darling's life. Alan and all of your family, please, can I say again the same, a sincere thank you for allowing me and my family to join with you in celebrating your boy's life. It's important. To all of you, travel safely when you travel. For those on bikes, stay upright and stay on the right side of the law. Thank you, Oakley.
First thing in the morning, last thing in the evening, when I go to sleep, when I start to dream, before I get to yawning, before I start to eat, baby, you're the reason and you're everything to me. Stop loving you, and I can't stop. I can't stop loving you, and I can't stop thinking about how much I need you. I can't stop loving you. Stop loving you, and I can't stop. I can't stop loving you, and I can't stop thinking about how much I need you. I can't stop loving you.
Painted red, the stripe was white, it was 18 feet from the bow of the stern light. Second hand from a dealer in Atlanta, I rode up with Daddy when he went there to get her. Put on a shine, put on a motor, built out of love and made for the water. Ran her for years till her transom got rotten. A piece of my childhood that'll never be forgotten. It was just an old plywood boat, the 75 Johnson with electric choke. A young boy, 2 hands on the wheel. I can't replace the way it made me feel. And I would turn her sharp and I'd make it whine. He'd say, you can't beat the way an old wood boat rides. Just a little lake across the Alabama line, but I was king of the ocean when Daddy let me drive. Just an old half-ton short bed Ford my uncle bought new in '64. Daddy got it right, cause the engine was smoking. Couple of burnt valves and he had it going. He'd let me drive her and we'd haul off a load down a dirt strip where we'd dump trash off a thick tin road. I'd sit up in the seat and stretch my feet out to the pedals, smiling like a hero that just received his medal. It was just an old hand-me-down Ford with 3-speed on the column and a dent in the door. A young boy, 2 hands on the wheel. I can't replace the way it made me feel. And I would press that clutch and I'd keep it right. And he'd say, a little slower, son, you're doing just fine. Just a dirt road with trash on each side, but I was merry and dready when Daddy let me drive. I'm grown up now, 3 daughters of my own. I let them drive my old Jeep across the pasture at our home. Maybe one day they'll reach back in their file and pull out that old memory and think of me and smile and say, it's just an old worn out Jeep, rusty old floorboards, hot on my feet. A young girl, 2 hands on the wheel. I can't replace the way it made me feel. And he'd say, turn it left and steer it right. Straighten up, girl, now you're doing just fine. Just a little valley by the river where we'd ride, but I was high on a mountain when Daddy let me drive. Daddy let me drive. Oh, he let me drive. She's just an old plywood boat with a 75 Johnson with electric choke.